I've mentioned this the last couple of shows, the name John Logan. John is from the Boston area. He started performing magic at the age of 12 years old to the amazement of his friends and family. Even internationally known magicians took note of this young man, 12 years old, doing magic. He went on to become an award-winning motivational speaker. He's traveled the country talking to large corporate gatherings. He's an author. He was on America's Got Talent and got a standing ovation from everyone in the theater, including the panel of judges, for his magic. He did a TED Talk. Plus, he's received coverage from major TV networks. He's a true talent. But the key here is he's a lifelong Beatles fan who brought together his two passions in life. He went on to create Magic with the Beatles. He has 3 shows coming up this month and in August, and it just so happens we have John on the phone right now. Good morning, John Logan. How are you?
I'm doing well, Chachi. How's it going? Thanks so much for that intro. It's very kind of you. I've been very lucky throughout the years. So thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Thank you again for joining us, John. Let's go back to the beginning. You were at a party at your family's house. You were bored. You went into another room and you discovered you had a talent at a very young age of doing magic.
It's kind of a crazy story. Again, I was 12 years old. I was really bored at a family event going on. Only person there my age. And I went in the other room and just kind of to entertain myself, started just making up magic tricks. And I went home that night and filmed myself performing them and put them online. And then a few days later, a talent agency found the videos and didn't know how I was doing them. And my face was in the video, so I didn't know how old I was. And one thing led to another, and I ended up being a creative consultant for them. So I was really, really lucky at a young age to be surrounded by professional magicians and people who have been doing this for such a long time and really understood how they approach creativity, how they approach problem solving. And it just kind of took off from there, and I fell in love with it ever since.
But the thing is, you posted this video online, and it was just your hands doing the trick. And then they reached out to you, and you said to them, hey, I'm only 12 years old, right?
Exactly, yeah. They said I was a little bit older, but yeah. And so they asked a few other ideas I had, and I pitched them a few other ideas I was thinking about, and they said, yeah, it looks you want to join the team. So, again, I was clearly the youngest in the team, but again, I was really lucky to be surrounded by a lot of people throughout the years that helped me throughout my career.
So you had a love for magic, and you grew up loving the Beatles' music. You brought it both together. Tell us about that.
So my show is called Magic with the Beatles. It's a multimedia experience where I use media and I use magic and, I tell stories and things like this, but you learn about the Beatles in really an engaging way. And it's just really, really fun. We have special cocktails and give out some prizes, and it's really just an overall really fun experience. And it's called Magic with the Beatles. So if you know everything about the Beatles, you'll have a good time. If you've never even heard of the Beatles, you'll still have a good time.
So, John, when we first talked a week or so ago, you talked about the magic that you feel when you listen to Beatles music. And, of course, that reminds me of the line, oh, that magic feeling. Tell us about what you meant by that.
I realized over the years that when people listen to the Beatles, especially me, I get kind of this magical feeling over me that we can't really explain. And I feel like a lot of other people get that as well. The Beatles were kind of these magicians in a weird way, right? They were achieving the impossible. They were doing things no one has ever done before. And they were creating this magical feeling. And to me, that is just so fascinating. And then, of course, when people watch magicians as well, we get the same magical feeling, right? So there's this Venn diagram. In my show, Magic with the Beatles, we're going to explore where they overlap there. So it's going to be a really fun time.
You're so talented, the sleight of hand, mind reading, and we're looking forward to it. You have 3 shows coming up Friday, July 15th in Hanover, Massachusetts at the American Legion Club. Saturday, August 20th at the Black Box Theater in Franklin, Mass. Friday, August 26th at the Center for the Arts in Hopkinton, Mass. And you can find info on it on magicwiththebeatles.com. So in your talks and appearances, John, you created the theme of impossible is just a word. And also, you were embraced by the New England Patriots. The players loved you and your magic. Tell us about it.
I've been very lucky in my career path. I've had a great team around me. I just want to give a quick shout-out to Southie Zass. He's one of my magic consultants, John Bale, Brett Powers, Alec Lyon, and Tom Dodge. I have a fantastic team around me that has really helped a lot. So I'll go back to your question about the Patriots. They realized I did magic, and so every week I would go into the studio and I'd do a trick to a new player, and it was fun because the trick was about the player's life off the field. which then, people start to learn about these players, kind of off the field, but in a really educational way, which kind of bridges back to the Beatles show as well, because you're learning about stories and the Beatles and history, but you're learning about it in an engaging way. So that's kind of one idea of how my show came to be. And then also, you mentioned I have my own trademark. It's called Impossible is Just a Word. And I do a lot of leadership talks on creativity and teamwork and innovation. But again, I blend in the magic, so you're learning in an engaging way. So I've been really intrigued about how people make a vision in their head actually become reality. How do they make the impossible become possible? And I think magicians are great examples of that. So in a lot of my leadership talks, I'll talk about the strategies that magicians use and then the transferable skills that other people can use, even though if they don't perform magic, and how they integrate them within their team. So all my passions kind of all merge together into form Magic with the Beatles, where, again, you're learning about the Beatles. You learn about them in a really, really fun way. So that's kind of how everything kind of just blended all together, and just kind of everything happened for a reason.
Yeah, it's amazing, John. You have just blazed your own path here. I'll be at the Hanover show on July 15th. And again, there's 3 dates, July 15th, August 20th, August 26th, magicwiththebeatles.com. You can also find it on our website, breakfastwiththebeatles.chachi.com. I'm looking at your book, John, The Perfect Illusion Life, John Duke Logan. John Logan, thank you for coming on the show today. We're going to hang out with you in July and August at your Magic with the Beatles shows. And thank you for coming on Breakfast with the Beatles this morning, John Logan. Thanks, buddy.
Of course. Thank you so much, Chachi.